Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. What's up? What's up? What is up, my friend? Okay. Well, that's interesting. We've opened all three doors, body, mind, and soul. Let's see what's going to happen up here. Welcome to my channel, Joy to the World. I'm your reader, Melissa Joy. Now we're taking a peek into the dark, into the nighttime. I don't know what's there yet, but you spit the cards out. I thought I was wrapping up my readings for the day, and you're like, no, we are getting on in there. Get to it, Joy. And I'm like, happy to keep it short and sweet, my friend. So up in the middle, we're talking about this liberation from the old systems. Getting connected to the truth of who you are and how you operate without the obligations, without the conditions. No more withholding, stringing yourself along, pushing yourself along, forcing yourself along, trying to encourage and motivate yourself along, getting into the system. It's just like the roller coaster. When it's on the rails and it's attracted to itself, you press that button, that thing's going to go. It has its own system of operations. So that's what you're talking about here. Well, let's get in and see what we got. Ooh, at the bottom, we got the parrot. Someone will gossip about all your secrets. You know what I saw? Someone will gossip, which someone will talk about all your successes. All right, Taurus, about all your successes. Now, let's not focus on other people and their gossip and their power, because they have no power over your life. It's when you open up the cracks of your mind or the cracks of your ass to whatever they're saying and thinking that they get entry in. Just like the dentist. How does he work on your teeth if you don't open your mouth? All right? Don't open your mind when somebody's giving you flack. Because when you respond, now you've gotten into the game, into the play, into the diorama, into the dynamic. You've picked up your tennis racket, it's game on. It's like, ooh, okay, you volunteered. You're like, no, I didn't. You instigated. You stirred me up. That's your hand. That is your hand on that racket. That is your mouth chit-chatting and having that argument or that debate or that passionate exchange of information going on. That is you trying to assert your ideas, your opinions, your authority, your whatever over someone else. It ain't going to happen. They're talking about the silent, the stealth, the still, getting into the power of the pelican, getting into the power of yourself. You ever seen those pelicans? Well, because I live by the ocean, I watch those things skim this far, that far above the water. Mighty big heads, mighty big wings, and these stumpy, blocky bodies. And they just go down right for it. And they play with that phos. Yes, phosphorescence, that force, that energy, that life force that they're talking about in Star Wars, friend. It is a Hebrew word, and it is phos. And it talks about that power, that innate connection between man and nature. And it creates this dynamic and this friction, this drag that creates a lifting because of the shape of their wings and causes them to move forward without one flap, without any effort, okay? So that's what it is about being in your own closed, flawless system, is you don't have to put effort out. You don't have to explain or drain, because that's effort, to anyone else, because as you are, you're opening up your blood to them. Your life force, your life power, your strength, your resource, your nutrients, your nutrition. So with that, we have flute coming in, disappointment in a friend or a lover. I'm telling you, you have worked yourself to no avail to try and get in the crack of their door. And they're not very much letting you up in there, but you're letting them all up in yours. That's where we see a power differential. Now you can keep playing that out going, oh goody, I want to keep witnessing what a power differential is like in my life. Let me go at this one more time. Let me explain it one more time. Let me drain myself one more time, because then I know they're going to believe me. They're going to listen. They're going to validate. They're going to understand me. They aren't going to get up under you. No. That's the thing. It's that antagonism. It is that seesaw. It is that tug of war. It is the competition. It is the gaming. It is the dominance going on. There's a power struggle there. And there's a power struggle with you, because there's a power struggle with themselves. Now that's the neat thing about having separate bodies. Let them go do their own thing. Let them struggle. Let them find out for themselves what's really worth their energy or time or whatever. Because when they realize that there is no competition, no need to let the other person complete you, because they do not. where and how you live and exist does not provide a measure on who they are, and vice versa. Okay, so that's what we're finding out about with the flute here, because there's that old vase. It's something that's coming from your parents' home, from your parents' life, and you're living out a parent dime. I love it. You're playing with words now. You must be up close to having a lot of Gemini around the cusp. The parent dime. So playing it around and throwing beautiful, precious things away for little and next to nothing. Burning bridges, causing stress, causing trouble, blowing things way out of proportion. Because you're engaging with it, thinking that you're dealing with these physical matters. But the reason why it hasn't worked is you're actually dealing with the spiritual matter. And the fastest way to deal with the spiritual matter is to recognize what is yours and what isn't. And to focus on what is yours. And to leave alone and not pay attention to what isn't. Just send the reminder of, oh, believe in them, they've got it. They'll figure it out. They know better. They're smart. They're intuitive. They're divine. Whatever it is, okay? But those 1 or 2 or 3 words that you put out, those 3 seconds that you're putting on it isn't draining, because it's staying in the spiritual realm. It's kind of like telling yourself, let's go garden the tomato patch over there. Let's go check for hornworms, and then we're going to move on. It's not sitting there combing over and having the earth and physical experience. Because literally right now, what I see outside my window, I know what I'm seeing in the blink of an eye. I don't have to put words to it. I have knowingness connected to it. But if I had to begin to engage with you, I would have to start using time and energy and myself to explain to you what I see in order to try and get us in that same vision, that same space. That's not your job, my friend. Not your job. And you're already wanting to move ahead to the future. But I would say, before we go ahead and we break into that and we spoil it, why don't we deal with the taxation? The thing that is robbing you blind from behind. Okay, friend, robbing you blind from behind. Hang on just a second there. Let me put that down. Thanks for your patience. Robbing you blind from behind. As y'all know, I try and title these according to what is actually going on in the chats that we have. So, look at this. So, King of Cups in the background. This is you having done a lot of investment in this other person. And so I'm hearing a bit of, so they owe me. This better turn out the way I wanted. That's why I invested. Well, that's ulterior motives. That's like hanging upside down and expecting the blood to rush to your feet. It's not going to rush to your feet till you stand up. But that can also be very Piscean energy. If I'm going to hold my breath and turn blue till you give me what I want. Is that the agreement that y'all had? Did y'all agree specifically on that? Things that I'm going to decide what you need to do and how it should look and what your answers are and how to live for you. And then you're going to get in agreement with that, do everything that I've said, even though it didn't come to you in your own voice. So it's not natural to you. So I'm going to help you navigate it and vicariously lead you and guide you and manage you so that then it comes out that way. That steep, steep water there, my friends. I know we're talking about water being deep, but they're talking about steep water. That's like going off the back side of the mountain. Going up the mountain just to travel back down it again. Is that really what you want to do with your time? I don't know. That's up to you. So, speaking of time, oh, we got the mule. I'm not going to see what that part. Okay, you are coming forward, April. Some of you been knowing what you should do since April, and you're just still sitting there twiddling your fingers. They're saying twiddling your thumbs, but I see all your fingers. You're trying to get yourself all up in it. You're trying to run this thing and decide how it's going to go and how it's going to play out and what you're going to get from it. Friend, the greatest thing you need to get is this epiphany about your truth and yourself. Because when you realize that, you're going to reduce that effort that you've been putting out in the world, trying to make a splash. Trying to, like they said, you cannot make people respect you by telling them how great you are. You can't make people respect you by becoming important and valuable enough to them, selling them your value, convincing them of your value. See, I told you that. See, I did this. See, I did that. Dare I say it, you wouldn't want somebody doing that to you. Okay, now this isn't for everybody. Some of you might be the flip person in this situation that has been happening to you. And what do we do about that? Okay, so let's see with this tea leaf. We have cobweb, sticky situations, my friend. Protected from negative forces beyond your control. That's the beauty of it. That mind control, that we could call it magic. When that person's trying to use their magic wand, their tongue, their words to craft and hone your life, that there's just been this stoicism that has helped you out, even in the dark night of the soul of like that person's love being conditional on you has been upsetting and disruptive, to say the least. So let's get another card for that. You're not wanting to come from this. We're going to come from the tarot at the bottom, 7 of Wands. Getting rid of that lousy spouse, the spouse. There are quite a few people that are going through that. And we're talking about like an 18-year cycle, a 36-year cycle. There's a time to stay and there's a time to go. Maybe even it could just be time to go on a private vacation and a private trip to get gather yourself back together. Whether you were the perpetrator or the one being perpetrated. Do you see what I mean? To get a little bit of this reflection and beauty time. Look at these. I think they're called quokkas. And they are so cute because they're known to smile. They have this permagrin on their face. So I believe it's in Australia that they're kind of used as that, like the poster child for happiness. And so it's time for you to regain your happiness, friend. To get yourself unstuck. These things that are using you as a life source and a place to hang their mess about so that they can get whatever they want from you. I like that this is turning, but we're both heading in the right direction. Because that swan has to do with the lover feeling incomplete without the other person for a lifetime. But there we have the flamingo, the one who's willing to stand on their own, even on one foot. Not everybody can navigate life the same way as you. For them to feed, they have to go upside down to feed like that. That is how they were crafted and created. And what they need to feed is what keeps their color, keeps them vibrant and bright. That you don't keep having to adapt and adjust having who you are. But moving towards the future is the double eggs. Okay. So for some of you, this is a troop of women finding success and safety among women. Maybe you were someone like me that until all of a sudden went through cancer, my hair went gray, women did not like me. I would have a really strong power friend or a friend or two like that. But when I'd walk into a group, that's why often I didn't go to group events, even when friends would invite me, because strangers would all of a sudden be all over me, accusing me, you after my husband, you after my boyfriend, you this. And I'm like, I just got here. I don't even know who you are. I haven't even talked to a man. I don't know what you're talking about. That type of energy. You see what I mean? That there was a lot of, where there's things, those spikes that come up, like if there's a security gate and someone's trying to leave the wrong way, the spikes come up and pop their tires so they can't escape. That's that old type of nasty energy like that. But it's moving into this new. No more of those one-way streets and those tricks and those traps, but being able to get into the beauty of life. Get into this rest, this reflection, this receiving power, instead of having to be in the masculine, be in the convincing, the selling, the doing, the making, the running of it, the dominating. And not saying that that's all masculine men. We're talking about masculine energy. We're talking about the ends of the battery. When there's an outie, when there's an innie. That's what I'm talking about, that directional flow of energy. But being able to focus on what you're receiving and the beauty that you're having in this life. Because if you're focusing on you and your receptivity, you're going to begin to see how special you are and how you're bound and what makes you feel good. And you can zip the trap. Snap the trap, Taurus. Snap the trap. And you begin to watch the beauty show up and life take care of that. See, the locust is not a pollinator, friend. So all this beauty, all this fruitfulness, all this that you're wanting to see in your divine garden takes a power greater than yourself. Okay. Well, let's see if there are any T cards to go with this judgment, with this locust, with this cycle ending coming in through here. Happiness and well-being. And that lets the sunshine in. It lets it all begin. It leaves the old and the crusty behind. And it leaves the dross and the dust of the earth behind to where you can begin to soar and get greater perspectives and enjoyment from this life and feeling the life course through your chest, through your lungs. And it helps you feel big. big in who you are and not big on having to sell or convince anyone else. Just all of a sudden feeling filled out. That's what power actually is. Filling those lungs and then releasing it. It's like, oh, okay, because you're feeling your capacity. Why? Because you're not dividing and chopping it up like the pie, like the karma, like the zodiac, to focus on this aspect or that aspect. Because when you're really doing that to other people, you're doing it to the pie in the chart. And you're trying to solve your issues and your problems and cause it to move forward. That's not how we make the wheel move. We make the wheel move like this. We make the wheel move by working and playing, resting and reflecting, going out and having a good time, experiencing our capacity, the breath, the power within us, and enjoying our life. And watch as it grows and develops and more comes. Hey, Taurus, I hope this has helped you out. I look forward to chatting with you in the comments down below. And if you do me a favor, stretch over there and tap that like button for me before you go. I'd also love to have you join my channel if you like it. Here, hop on this joy train. I love you, my friend. Bye.